Like I sometimes say, if ever, I went on a date again, if they took me to a horror movie, that would be the last date. But for a lot of horses, it's a horror movie or it's a tense situation almost all the time.
What does dating, horror movies, and top equestrian Linda Pirelli have in common? Stay tuned to find out. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancin Pete Rodda.
And we have a great show lineup for you. We're very, very excited to have a couple of top Mustang trainers here in the studio with us. We're going to be talking to Sydney Frost and Kat Zimmerman. And we're also going to be talking about an upcoming, very exciting, first time ever Mustang show in January. We're looking forward to that. We're also going to be talking to Linda Pirelli from Happy Horse, Happy Life about understanding the curriculum that she has written. And also very excited to have Olympic dressage rider back in the studio with us, Lucio, and we're going to be talking about the Equilibrio saddle. I hope I did that right. And then we have our usual tips and news and events towards the end of the show, but we are going to kick it off with a tip from Dr. Adam Kayott with Peterson Smith. Here he is.
Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Kayott with Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care for your tip of the week. Always change your horse's feed and diet in a slow manner. We can have a lot of problems with sudden changes. If you can't find your horse's particular feed, try to make sure that whatever you can get is as close to what they're used to eating as you can, and that will avoid a lot of problems that may arise from their digestive system at a later point.
Dr. Adam Kayott, very important when you're changing feed and hay to do it extremely slowly and carefully, and it's even more important at this time of year with the colder weather and with the horses drinking a little bit less, with it cooling down and not increasing the hay amount rapidly. You may end up with colic problems, and nobody wants that.
No, ma'am.
Nope. So we are going to switch gears now, and we are going to welcome our first guests on the show today, and we're very excited to have Linda Pirelli back with us. Ooh. And also Lucio here with us too. And thank you for my shirt.
Yes, I was going to say you got the memo. Let's both wear this one.
I know. So this is my Happy Horse, Happy Life shirt, and you're going to see me wearing one every week for the next few weeks. And I'm very excited to have this one on, but you've got to check them out on Linda's website because every single shirt she has is gorgeous, and the vests.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah, very. Love it.
That was a little bit of a hint there.
Oh, and I love this one, and I admired it last time.
You needed it on the hunt field.
I know.
Yes, it's got hunters on there.
I love it. I love it, love it. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So we're going to start to talk, and Pete, the idea guy, Dancing Pete Rodda, has great ideas all the time. And he came up, last time you were here with us a few weeks ago, he came up with, hey, we'd really like to understand a little bit more about your curriculum. And you sent me a question to ask you. You could have retired. Why did you write another program? And then I think about you retired. You're way too young to retire. So I didn't even like to ask you that question, but you could have retired.
Yeah, well, it's one of those big life-changing moments. And I thought, either I will retire and relax for the rest of my life, or why? But, it crosses your mind. And then I went, but I'm not done, and there's a lot of things that I know and that I would do better now that I know more. And so I decided I wanted to write a new curriculum that was more from the horse behavior perspective.
And you've got way too much brilliance and knowledge and expertise and time to stop, because there's too many to pack it in. There's too many people who can still learn so much from you. And so I think that really you definitely made the right move with Happy Horse, Happy Life.
I think so.
So I knew the old curriculum since I was an instructor at that time. So how is it different?
It's quite different because rather than it being about training the human and very technique oriented, this is really about reading horses and learning. I call it how to talk horse, because people talk with words and horses talk with energy and gestures. And most people, the more words they use, the less they know how to communicate with their body language. And it's more like sign language, really. And I always tell a funny story because, you know, we talk about body language and think of it in quite obtuse ways. But in fact, when you're talking with horses, it's more like sign language. And I don't know if you know sign language. I don't. But I had a student who was telling me that she had a hearing impaired friend. And so she was learning sign language. And she said she learned, like, the gestures and the energy that they use is so important compared to words. And so she said, for instance, if you want to say you're hungry, you go like that from your mouth to your stomach. But if you go a little further, it means something completely different. Mm-hmm. So she said, you have to be very precise.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with horses, right? You have to be very precise, because if I, you know, just throw energy at the horse could scatter everywhere. But if I'm really precise about, I want you to move your nose, your shoulder, your haunches very precisely, then horses go, oh, now he's speaking clearly. And a lot of the problems that people have with horses go away because it's miscommunication. We don't even realize that it's almost like, remember in COVID when we all had to wear masks? And so if I was talking to you like this, it's like, now you can't even read my lips. And that's often what it feels like to horses when we don't communicate clearly.
You know, it's so interesting you say that, because in my day job, we actually have one of our staff, absolutely wonderful lady. She has some hearing problems. When we're in a large room having a meeting, there might be 30 of us, and there's one person all the way the other side of the room, and a lot of us talk with our hands, and we put our hands up like this. We can't see our mouths. And so it's not good, because that doesn't help her. So that is a very good point. And that just happened this week when we were told to stop covering your mouths when you're talking. Because when people can't hear as well, you've got to be able to write. That's communication. And in the world of people, isn't miscommunication one of the biggest issues?
Yeah, and we even share a common language.
Exactly.
And now it's like you have to learn how to talk horse and understand how they communicate, you know. And most people are not taught that. And even with what I've written, when I realized what had to come first, which was all about connection, the only way you can really connect with a horse or a human is to be understood and to have compatible energy, because you're an introvert, right? Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, sorry.
Sydney nearly fell out of a chair over there.
Yeah. So you're obviously an extrovert, you know, and so if I'm an introverted person, I could find you very intimidating unless you knew how to change your, yes, let me see, it could be, because it's a lot of energy, and for somebody who's more introverted, that can be quite overwhelming. And vice versa, you know, if I'm an introvert trying to talk to you, you're kind of like, are you even alive in there? Because you're just so quiet. And
I'll tell you what happens a lot, and this has happened to me, where I have met people who are introverts and actually think, do you not like me?
Yeah.
Did I do something to upset you? You know, do you have a problem with me? Like, I'm concerned, what did I do? But really they're just being introverts.
They're different.
But our producer Isaac is a huge introvert, and it was very difficult at first, because when we'd ask him a question, it'd take him 2 minutes before he answered.
And that's why he's behind the camera and not in front of the camera.
That's right.
That's right.
He's also
we would be
a lot
disaster.
less. I know, wouldn't
we?
we?
Would be a disaster. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Or oh, we could do it this way, and then no, we could do it this way.
Yeah,
And
I've
we
got an
change it
idea.
3 times.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. So I mean, that's what happens between horses and humans. You know, you could be a fairly extroverted human with an introverted horse, and you've already destroyed the connection because you're too much for the horse. In the end, you actually come together in a common meeting point, but you've got to start where the horse is, and that can be quite an out-of-body experience for a lot of people, because especially if they have their horse as an opposite, because they have to be able to either raise their energy or lower their energy to be able to connect with the horse. And so a lot of that is in the very first manual that I've done, and I teach people how to read horses. And I have a behavior model, which, you know, I used to teach about extrovert and introvert horses and right brain and left brain. And when I started teaching a lot of people who had no Pirelli background, if I said, is your horse an extrovert or an introvert, they'd go, what? And I thought, now I've got to talk about right brain, left brain. How am I going to get people to understand this?
So hold that thought.
Hold that thought.
We got to take a break, and we'll be right back.
We're coming right back. Stay with us.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations, with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honouring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. Grateful for the foundation of excellence laid over 40 years ago by their founders, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care continues to provide excellence in ambulatory and emergency care, surgery, internal medicine and sports medicine, with a lab and pharmacy, as well as the best in reproductive services at their Advanced Facility Center in Summerfield. For more information, find them at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires, and equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure you can achieve your vision for a safe and functional horse facility. For new builds, rewires, and updating, Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a farm of our own, we know you cannot take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
Veteran-owned Wide Automotive, that's WEIDE, is a beacon of automotive excellence in Ocala. Founded on integrity and expertise with unwavering dedication in all operations, we seek to forge lasting relationships with our clients. Whether you have one vehicle or a fleet, we pledge our best effort in quality service. From repairs, diagnostics, tire repair and replacement, diesel engine work, horse trailers, car batteries, wheel alignments, fuel systems, and more. Discover more at wideautomotive.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancin Pete Rodda.
And we are chatting in the studio to Linda Pirelli from Happy Horse, Happy Life. And we also have Olympic dressage rider Lucio here with us. And we are talking about curriculum right now.
How to talk horse.
Yes.
And before the break, I talked about how we need to change our energy according to the horse, like what the horse is naturally like. And most of us are not taught that. We're just taught, you know, there's your horse, put the halter on, put the bridle on, saddle on, go ride it. But the relationship skills that we need will really make or break it. And the reason we have a job, I'm pointing at Pete also, is because there's a lot of misunderstandings between horses and humans. And a lot of it is the ability to connect or disconnect. And this is basically what it's all built on. So even with Lewis, when I showed him this behavior fix for horse behavior profiles, he said, finally I get it.
Yes.
And then he said, my wife is a this and my daughters are that, the dogs are this, my horse is
Because yes, at the end, as you said, when you deal with a horse, you need to first know which kind of horse you have in front of you. And this is important to know if his tendency is to discuss your leadership and he's going to be more checking if you are the one, or he's going to be more afraid. And then if his tendency to move or tendency to stop. And then this chart distributes the possibilities in 4 very clear options that helps you a lot to understand which kind of horse I have in front, and then you have a chance to take your strategies to get a better relation.
And so we have 4 types: mover, stopper, pushy, tense, and then you get combinations thereof. And we do all the wrong things with them. We want to stop the mover, we want to move the stopper, we get pushed by the pusher, and then tense horses, we don't know what to do. People tend to manage tension instead of fix it. And in fact, when I picked Lewis up from the airport last night, he said, "You were right again."
Yeah, because many times, for example, when you have a kind of little emotions that you cannot get rid of it, you can have a horse that's obedient, but he gets still too emotional. Then she always tell me, yeah, try to do some spirals, and I was never doing it because I was doing more sideways or brain back and so on. But at the end last week, one of my horses, I was having problems to get these extra emotions out, even though she's very obedient, he's a mare. But then I say, okay, perhaps I try what Linda says, and I do these spells, and I was impressed. After 2 or 3 tries, the horse was by himself going in walk and not much emotion. I say, okay, I have to try that.
So it's a lot of fun.
So you put your program into 3 stages. So tell us more.
So the first stage is, I call it the core behaviors. So that's connection, relaxation, and responsiveness. And that's where most problems with horses are solved, most of them. Then the second section is confidence, impulsion, and bending. And this is where now you learn more about how to operate in those areas with the horse, like how to obviously improve their confidence, how to get horses that go too fast or go too slow to regulate their paces. And then the one on bending is if you've got a horse that's as stiff as a board or on the forehand, then it teaches you, like each one's got 10 to 15 lessons. It teaches you how to get a horse more supple without using force. And then the final one is the that was qualities, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then the final one is performance. And there's 4 pieces in it. Lewis is holding one. And it's harmony, agility, purpose, and power. And Lewis actually has a segment in the purpose book because it's really important when it comes to anything in life, basically. But when you're with horses, you need to have a goal. And most people don't have a goal. They just go, I want to be happy, or I want to have a relaxing ride. And the horse goes, huh? They don't know. So we teach people how to set goals in the short term for their horses and per ride. And then we take a larger purpose like dressage or reining or cutting, jumping, eventing, hunting, all those kinds of things. And I've had guest experts contribute to that section. So Lewis has Lewis has a section on that.
I'm going to go back to the first, the connection.
Yes.
Because to me, if I am, and a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people think that this is strange, maybe. You definitely wouldn't. But I am not the kind of person that can just go to somebody's farm or house or whatever and jump on a horse and go for a ride. Mm-hmm. I don't enjoy it. The endorphins aren't there. I have friends all the time that say, come right here, jump on this horse, go do this. And I don't enjoy that. I enjoy having the connection with the horse first. And, I've recently been riding this horse that actually Sydney, who's here in the studio with us, actually did a lot of the training on. And, he's this big Belgian paint cross. And the first time I rode him, I took quite a bit of time just hanging out with him, getting to know him.
What
and
a
every
compliment
time, every time I go early enough that I can spend time grooming him and hanging out with him and just getting to know him. And I feel like every time I go, I get more and more of a connection with him. But I would not have wanted to go out there and just jump on. And in fact, the first time I was going to go out on one of their drag hunts, the day before I went riding with Sydney and Katie and just went and just walk and maybe a little bit of trotting, not very much, and just went for like a trail ride just to kind of get to know him, because I didn't want to just go out there and jump on and ride, because for me the connection's the most important thing with the horse. And even though I have a Mustang with a fractured hock right now, I go and hang out with him in the pen and just sit with him, because I just want that.
Sometimes those injuries get you to have more connection.
Absolutely.
Because now you're spending more time
undemanding.
Just hanging out. And that to me is absolutely when I first got him and he colicked that night, that's how we connected. We were in the round pen all night together. 3 hours after he arrived, he colicked, and that's when we made our connection. And so for me, that is so important. I feel like that's such a key
it's number
to success. It's number one
in my program.
So tell us about the first stages.
So connection, relaxation, and responsiveness is where it all starts. So the connection is talking about the energy and knowing who that horse is, because we just kind of go, oh, it's a horse. And a lot of people say it's lazy, it's crazy, it's unpredictable, but no, that's a character trait that's probably going to the negative side, because people are upsetting that horse instead of connecting with it and bringing out the best. So you learn about that in connection, and there's certain strategies that I teach as well in there, as well as how to read your horse. I've got sections where I teach you how to look at a horse and read it from nostril to toenail, you know. And then in relaxation, like I said earlier, a lot of people don't really know how to get a horse relaxed. You told a good story about it. We manage it, but when there's tension, horses have trouble learning and they have trouble performing. And it's not a comfortable place, you know. So if like I sometimes say, if ever, you know, I went on a date again, if they took me to a horror movie, that would be the last date. But for a lot of horses, it's a horror movie or it's a tense situation almost all the time. And over time, horses can get dull to it, or sometimes they just blow up and they explode and then they go to owner after owner after owner. And it's only because we don't know the strategies. And there's 15 lessons in here on how to help horses relax. And then the final one is responsiveness. You know, it's not just kick to go, pull to stop. It's like, how can I teach a horse about pressure, either physical pressure or energetic pressure, gestures and things like that. So now we share a language and I can communicate to the horse and I can ask it to stand over there or wait for me or whatever. And that's your basis. And then after that, you go on and do pretty cool things. But I would say the one thing that really differentiates what I've done now is I teach people how to have conversations with horses instead of just tell them what to do.
We're getting a sign that, believe it or not, that flew by. We have to wrap that up. But the good news is Linda and Luis are with us for another segment because we're going to talk a little bit about a saddle and how that plays into making your horse happy. Stay with us.
For a really happy horse, check out happyhorsehappylife.com. Linda Pirelli has a beautiful selection of shirts and a fantastic Equilibrio saddle by Lucio. K-Well USA, naturally the next step in equine care, with powerful blends of nature's ingredients that promote healing.
We're a unique, tough breed. We work long, hard hours making sure your horses are healthy and properly shod because, well, we farriers know horses perform better when they're properly shod and healthy. You want quality horse products, supplements, and farrier supplies at affordable prices, and you won't settle for anything less.
TT Distributors is dedicated to quality horse products, supplements, and farrier supplies at affordable prices. Racehorse or a pasture pony, TT Distributors has what you need. 7715 West Highway 40, Ocala.
Equine Therapy International offers state-of-the-art equipment to enhance your horse's performance, fitness, strength, and rehabilitation with hand-picked and proven range of products, including PEMF and massage therapy rugs, leg wraps, boots, pads, and lasers, equine water treadmills, cold saltwater spas, combi floors, dry treadmills, solariums, nebulizers, and more. For more information, go to equinetherapyint.com or find them on social media. Repair, perform, and recover with Equine Therapy International. Grateful for the foundation of excellence laid over 40 years ago by their founders, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care continues to provide excellence in ambulatory and emergency care, surgery, internal medicine and sports medicine with a lab and pharmacy, as well as the best in reproductive services at their Advanced Facility Centre in Summerfield. For more information, find them at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now.
DAC Vitamins and Minerals has been making a world of difference for 35 years. Do you know what sets DAC apart? We use chelation minerals from Alltech, which allows for better absorption. DAC is the only supplement company Alltech provides ingredients for. We have our nutritionist, Performance Horse Nutrition, NASP, which is the quality seal, which guarantees our products and ensures our use of quality ingredients. DAC gives you a guaranteed analysis in every 1 ounce scoop, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Doesn't your partner deserve the best? Visit feeddac.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Brannaman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa.
I'm Dancin Pete Rodda.
And we have been chatting to Linda and Luis here in the studio, and we've been talking about Happy Horse, Happy Life and the curriculum that Linda has designed. And a happy horse is much happier when it has a saddle that was designed to be comfortable for the rider and the horse, and that's how you get your best results. And who better to talk to about this than Luis? Luis, you are a top dressage rider and trainer. and sports performances in your background.
Yes.
For quite a few years.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I have been riding myself in competitions for many years, and I was in 2 Olympics in Atlanta and Sydney with our Spanish team. And then I have been coaching people to go to the big events, also in helping some eventers and some jumping people in the dressage work. And after this riding career, I was also in charge of the dressage in Spain for 7 years. I was the chef d'équipe in all the big competitions and coaching big events. And also I was member of the dressage FEI committee as a trainer's representative for 5 years. It was a very, very exciting experience.
Quite a resume.
And all these years make me to understand how difficult it is to find a saddle that you can sit on it and work, because the final picture where the horse is well trained is quite comfortable and easy, but the process to make a young horse ready to go, come back, to canter, to trot, to go by the side, and you remain in the saddle is quite complex.
Yes.
Then for many years I was trying to get the best seat for me, but I was ignoring a little bit how the horse was feeling because I was too much thinking about me. But luckily, we are a team. Now, Linda rises and says, "That's great for you, but this is awful for a horse." Then she began with new ideas, and that's why we arrived to this agreement.
Yeah, it's got to work for both. So the main thing that I've done on the underside of the saddle is fit the horse in motion, because a lot of saddles are fit when the horse is standing still, and when they move, their backs completely change shape. So this saddle is built for the horse in motion to enhance its ability to move, and it also has a lot of freedom in the shoulders, but at the same time, because of the way the seat works, we don't need shims. Like I've had to use shims a lot in saddles that are really wide enough for a horse, but they fall down on the horse. Whereas with Lewis, I couldn't figure it out at first, but with the way Lewis designed this for the seat of the rider, you don't need shims. It balances so perfectly on horses of all shapes and sizes. So I think you need to talk about the position, because you have a very unique approach to it.
I was going to say, I've never heard of you not needing shims. That's amazing.
Keep it simple, stupid is what I always say. The more you let the human shim it, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah, it's more
or
challenging.
it might not be easy.
That is a very nice design that we have been checking in all the breeds for years and has fit the majority, almost all the horses in a very nice way. But this part is magic. I always still ask Linda, how is it possible that the saddle fits almost every horse? We have been trying, but that's his magic. But the good thing for the rider is that even though it's a dressage saddle, we think that the final picture of a sitting dressage rider is remain the saddle. But on the journey, we need to do a lot of rising. And then normally, dressage saddles are not designed to do sitting and rising, and we need this mix. And for that, you need a specific alignment in between your hips, your knees, and your legs. And the saddle has designed a position in your legs that makes you remain very well seated when you can do a big standard trot or powerful canter, but you can rise and come back to your seat without influencing your stability in the contact. And I think that's the key. These are saddle who allows you to give. That is one of the keys of the success in riding.
I until I rode in this saddle, like with his design, I had no idea how out of position I was.
I was going to say, it's probably messed you up for any other saddle, right?
Yeah, we're ruined. In fact, when we had the prototypes, we would wait and, if we lined up to ride it. We didn't want to ride in anything else. But you almost feel like you're cheating because it just aligns your bones. And these things are usually called thigh blocks. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time, the position of the thigh block actually makes you push your legs up a little bit. But these are magic.
Yeah.
Because they actually work on your knee and push your knee down and back. And I always idolized...
I need help with that.
I always idolized
I know, I do, really. When I see
position.
myself in the saddle, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we'll have to sit you in this.
I was going to say, now you're going to have to make one for like hunter jumper, right?
Well, see, our expertise is in this discipline, so we're not thinking about going multidiscipline. But
I have a feeling that between the two of you, you could come up with a very nice saddle.
Well, he had to talk me into this. I didn't want to do it, and he said, we have to do it. But he said, because I need to help riders. And I've always idolized the way Lewis sits on a horse, and his legs look amazing, the way he just doesn't move. And I said, I want to be able to ride like that. And he said, well, in your saddle, it's not possible.
Well, yeah,
we have to change
That's part of the nice eating.
Well, and what I notice about it, it doesn't. What most dressage saddles I don't like when I ride in a dressage saddle is it sucks you in and locks you in.
Mm-hmm.
And from starting a lot of colts, I don't want to be sucked in.
No, you don't want to colt
be
start in
loose.
that.
You need to move.
I want to be loose, but I like the looseness that gives my pelvis and stuff like that. Where there's so many times I get on my students' horses and they've got these tight little saddles, and I'm like, you're locked in, you can't really move.
You almost cannot, you cannot sit in a bad position on this.
Yeah,
we take
because
photos
the
of
saddle
everybody,
helps you to
and
be
they're like,
there.
oh,
And
my
doesn't
legs.
matter which is your tendency, if you allow the saddle to do the job, you get a very nice position in your lower body. And then that allows you to rise, sit, canter, remain in the saddle. It's very comfortable, very
not
soft.
move.
At the end, we always say, better don't try it.
Because you're ruined.
Try
You're
it.
gonna get it.
Yes, you're going to get it. So tell us the name of the saddle, Equilibrio.
The saddle is called Equilibrio.
Mm-hmm. And how do people find it? On Happy Horse, Happy Life?
.com.
Yes.
And we've just launched it. And we've even sold quite a few just because people were lining up. They tried the prototypes. But we're doing a website for it as well. So pretty soon you'll be able to see that. But certainly through happyhorsehappylife.com or lindapirelli.com, you can find your way there. And we've got all kinds of videos.
So there was something you wanted to show us on the...
Yes, this is a lot of possibilities to fixate the saddle on the horse. The billets have many options, forward, in the middle, back. We have an extra girth to keep the flaps really controlled, because many times the horse is moving strong and you are holding the saddle, but the saddle flaps are moving, and then these flaps are not moving. Makes you really sticky. If you put your legs on, you are not moving in extended trot, and this is very important for a rider. Also, this little strap can help you to keep the saddle in the right position, because we know when we do bending and turns, the saddles try to slip one side. You can bring it. That gives you a little security in some moments, and also you can carry and hold it.
I was going to say, it's
also,
nice.
Also, when you ride on, you can hold it. If you don't use a pedestal, that's very useful.
And I'm going to add one last thing before we get wrapped up.
Yeah.
I want you to feel the flocking here, how soft it is.
Yeah.
So it acts like a cushion on the horse. It's not a tight, hard feeling for the horse.
It's amazing.
Part of its comfort and happiness.
Thank you guys so much for sharing this with us. Very quickly, in the last 30 seconds, we have goodie bags. We have K-Wool USA bags with all natural, amazing products for you to try. And we have Piranha bags full of lovely travel size goodies.
Thank you.
And then I don't think Lewis has one of our Horse Talk Show brushes.
No, I would take it.
And so I think you should have one of those too.
Thank you, Piranha. Thank you, K-Well.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here with us and sharing this beautiful saddle.
Thank you.
We'll
for
have
having
Linda
us.
back next week too. Maybe you'll come with her, huh?
Thank you.
We'll be right back on the Horse Talk Show. Stay with us.
Grateful for the foundation of excellence laid over 40 years ago by their founders, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care continues to provide excellence in ambulatory and emergency care, surgery, internal medicine and sports medicine, with a lab and pharmacy, as well as the best in reproductive services at their Advanced Facility Centre in Summerfield. For more information, find them at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires, and equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure you can achieve your vision for a safe and functional horse facility. For new builds, rewires, and updating, Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a farm of our own, we know you cannot take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations, with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honouring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. It's time to fight back against summer sores with K-Well's Red Repel, healing and soothing, a lava-slaying ointment of justice, powered by zinc and nature's sass. Safe for all horses, even drama queens, gentle enough for the face. Your horse deserves skincare too, long-lasting and non-toxic. A bonus, buy a copper curry brush or Red Repel and receive a free in-store K-Well sample of your choice in Ocala at Seminole Feed Stores, TD Distributors and OBS. Discover more at kwellusa.com. K-Well, strength by nature. Piranha Animal Health is your trusted leader in insect control since 1972.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. She's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
I'm Tick Maynard, and you're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet,
your hometown Chevy experience.
Thank you to Larson Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancin Rodda.
And we have a couple more awesome guests in the studio with us. Very excited to have Sydney Frost and Kat Zimmerman here. Nice to have you guys with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to talk to both of you in both segments, but we're going to kind of focus in a little bit and single out Sydney for a bit.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So, Sydney, you and I met at Misty Morning Hounds.
Yes.
It was lovely, actually, to go out for a ride with you and learn a little bit about your Mustang training. I'm a little bit of a fan of Mustangs.
No. You're kidding me.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I grew up riding hunter jumper. So I learned a lot about, how to ride. And then in college, I took a horse psychology and training class, and that's when I learned more about horse behavior, horse psychology.
Imagine that. We've been on this topic of horse behavior tonight. Apparently it's a fit.
Yeah, and that's what really got me interested in the young horse mind and actually starting colts. So yeah, after college, I moved to Colorado for a few years and kept riding. And when I got back to Florida, I just started out my business, which is mostly colt starting and Mustang training. And Mustangs have taught me a lot, so
they will,
I'm very grateful for that, yes.
So what is it about Mustangs that kind of draws you, obviously, because I know you do all breeds, but Mustangs, I think, are probably your favorites, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I make the joke all the time that I take any breed that comes in to kind of bankroll my Mustang dreams, because I absolutely love starting them untouched. I think just having a horse that's never been messed with, you can just really learn a lot more about how horses behave and just yeah, I just love starting them from
people, no offense to people,
beginning.
Haven't messed with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it they say? Horses have people problems.
Yeah, just having a clean slate is what I really like about them.
Yeah, they are. They're a wonderful breed. And actually, when I met you, you were riding a horse of a friend of mine I've been friends with for years.
Oh, Darcy?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were riding George's horse, and that was neat that there was a connection.
I think the first time we rode, I rode a Mustang.
Yes,
though,
you
right?
did. The second time was at the hunt when you rode George's horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a big event that was.
Yeah. So what is it about starting colts that you like? It's got to be challenging, right? You've done that.
I like earning the trust of a Mustang, like to get to the first ride. There's so much that goes into it. Like the gentling process itself is just so fulfilling. Seeing a horse that's so scared to start out with, all you're seeing is fear at that point. And when I get to earn the trust of a horse enough that, oh, there's a horse under there, there's a whole personality that comes out after that process of gentling, and then the first ride is just awesome. like Kat can tell you, when you get on one that is really ready, that you've done all the prep work for, you've earned that trust and you have that relationship, and it's an uneventful, good first ride, it just feels like this is what this horse was like born to do. And I'm just lucky to be able to be there to create that environment for them to get them to that point. So yeah, colt starting in like the first ride, it's fulfilling for sure.
Kat, I'll let you comment on that. You have a Mustang love as well.
I do. I've been hooked for 10 years now. And I also work with any breed. My program's open to all breeds, but I emphasize on Mustangs. And they've really just kind of hooked me in. And it's definitely, like Sydney said, like having that blank slate, it's really amazing to be able to shape them into what you want them to be. Like you have a horse that really hasn't had any human impact yet, so you can shape them however you'd like. And I think that kind of makes the process a little bit more interesting. You don't have any baggage to unravel. You just get to bring them along exactly how you want them. And I really love starting them under saddle, taking them from wild to be able to start them under saddle, and even just the domestic bred horses, the first rides. It's a really amazing experience, and then getting to see them carry on with their life and go do whatever their future's meant to be. It's nice knowing you were a part of that.
I remember way back, gosh, it was a long time ago, probably maybe 7 years ago or so, and I think you had a Mustang and a foal maybe or a yearling or a young horse alongside that you were ponying in the parade.
Yeah, that was one of my youth Mustang makeover babies. I was ponying her along off one of my very first Mustang I had.
That was downtown. That was back when the parade was downtown before.
It was a big environment, and those little Mustangs took it in.
It was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think that was the one we had about 70 or 80 horses in that.
And there was a huge crowd. It was massive.
It was massive, yeah. And I think that year we may have even had a stagecoach and some carriages, and it was a lot. It was an insane environment. They did so well.
Yeah, it was a fun experience, and the little Mustang I think I had her for 60 days at the time, and she took it in, and it was a really fun event.
So how did you two connect?
I needed help with the Mustang. Yeah, I was really struggling with the first Mustang that I had, and I had consulted with somebody on the phone, and they said, hey, isn't Kat Zimmerman in your area? And we were living in the same town at that time. And so I gave her a call, and she was so gracious, and she's like, yeah, bring the horse over, we'll put him in the chute, we'll halter him. And so I kind of just picked her brain and got all of her years of experience and advice. So yeah, we met over a Mustang that I definitely struggled with. He was for a makeover, and we ended up making the makeover, and now he's a 10-year-old kid's horse, and I just see all these pictures of him all the time and videos of him all the time. I'll meet up with him in trail ride, and so he's a success story for sure. And without Kat, I don't know if it would have been, so.
Isn't that great, though? Yeah. You can help each other.
So question for both of you. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between starting a Mustang and starting a domestic horse that somebody has owned and then brought to you?
Go first.
I think the biggest thing in my experience goes back to that blank slate thing. It's definitely, I have lots of horses come in that the owners have done their own groundwork and prep work for.
I'm sorry.
And it's just, you still have to start from scratch no matter what, and you sometimes have to fill in some gaps. And when you have a Mustang that, you are the very first person touching them, you are the very first person to put a halter on, they don't even know how to lead, you are going through every single step that you want to implement. So when it comes time to go through the process of starting one, you've already put everything you want there. There's nothing that you need to go back and fill in, because you know what your process is. Everyone has their individual process and what their steps are. You've already implemented that. And then working with the domestic horses, you sometimes have to kind of weasel around certain things that are already there, and sometimes there is emotional baggage that maybe wasn't purposely put onto them, but sometimes it happens, and you have to go through and refill in those gaps. So I think that would be the biggest difference with the various like domestic bred horses I have come into colt start, or just the Mustangs that come in for gentling, and I get to start from scratch.
Don't you think it's hard too, not knowing exactly what gaps might have been missed because you weren't there, so you don't know, and you also don't know what the horse, like you mentioned, has been through, like psychologically, because and as you said, some of that is just lack of knowledge. It's not anybody that deliberately necessarily did a thing. It can be just that they didn't know.
Right.
And if they didn't know, that could affect the horse a lot, and you don't know that. When you get the horse, you don't know all of that. So that's a lot, right?
It is, and especially if a horse goes years, like if sometimes I'll get a colt start in that is a little bit older, they go years not having the skills of emotion regulation, or they don't know how to handle their anxiety. That years building that up, that's a lot to unravel as well and go through.
That's difficult. That's a tough one. We are coming back with you guys. We got to go to break, but I want to talk about a Mustang show that is coming up. We're very excited about. So stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. We'll be right back.
Your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more.
At Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, our customers say it best.
Oh, the prices were great. They were actually unbeatable.
Thanks, Miss Delara. At Palm Chevy, we do our best to give you our best price and payment without the games. And our entire team is committed to making your experience in sales or service pleasant and hassle-free.
It's been a pleasure doing business around here.
Thanks, Mr. Hars, and we think you'll agree. Visit us today at Palm Chevrolet, Southwest College Road in Ocala, or at palmchevrolet.com. Find new roads.
Love presents itself in so many ways. It can be difficult to describe the bond between human and horse because it really transcends words. As we prepare for each ride, the most important thing in our mind is our horse's health and safety. Are we playing our part in this remarkable relationship? We want to go to sleep every night knowing that we did everything in our power to preserve this special bond. Piranha Animal Health, for the love of the horse.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934, manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Leave the engines behind and saddle up for an unforgettable experience on horseback with African horse safaris. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet.
Your hometown Chevy experience.
Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancin Rodda.
And we have a couple of wonderful guests in the studio I've been chatting to. And we have them with us for another segment. And we're going to switch gears a little bit. We've been talking a lot about Mustangs. Obviously, both of you have the same love of Mustangs and starting them. And you met through you having problem with one. And Kat helped. And that's wonderful that you were able to team up and help each other. And that horse has now turned out to be fabulous. So that's wonderful. But Kat, let's talk a little bit about your background. You've been around horses for a very long time, right?
I guess so. I got into horses when I was 3, so I really don't know a day that I haven't been around them. It's been 20 years now with them in my life. So I grew up in the hunter-jumper realm, and I got into Mustangs when I was 12, turning 13, and from there they took over my life, and I really didn't look back. I really have not been doing much English work until this past year. I had a Mustang makeover that was primarily English geared. In between the gaps, I've been going over to Western, and I've been doing a lot of colt starting and developing horses under saddle Western and helping owners with their horses in that department. But I still like to play around with English now that I've gotten back into it this year. But I really am just spending all my time primarily working with Mustangs or having domestic bred horses come in through my program.
It's amazing. So tell us about the upcoming show that you have planned.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about it. I'm hosting alongside Sam Van Fleet. We're doing the Sunshine State Mustang Show. It's a Mustang-specific open show. It's running January 9th through 11th in Newberry. And our goal with it was just to give Mustang owners a venue to showcase all of the work they put in, because there are tons of events for, training competitions. You have 100 days to work with a wild Mustang, but there's not a lot to showcase the long-term investment we put into these horses, and Mustangs are becoming very popular in this state, or really just the entire Southeast. A few years ago it wasn't that way. They were still kind of frowned upon, but they've become much more popular, and so many people, just normal horse owners, they're not professionals, they're putting so much work into these horses, but they have nowhere to promote what they're doing or to showcase the work they've put in. So our goal with it was to give Mustang owners, you could come from all over the country, but we're primarily targeting Florida and the Southeast, is to showcase what you've done with them. It's open for anybody. You don't have to be a professional. You can even be 12 years old. It's open to everybody.
Nice.
And that's ranging from some in-hand classes, Western, English. We have dressage, jumpers. We even have some Liberty and freestyle classes. Just trying to give Mustang owners a complete venue to just showcase whatever work they've put into these horses, because typically they are very versatile, and people that do own them are doing so many different things with them. It's not just one discipline or the other. So we try to make it a big, versatile class list where they have different things to do and just something fun and a goal to work towards.
And that's at the Ag Center in Alachua County, right?
Yes, over in Newberry.
Yeah, in Newberry.
Yep.
And see, I like that because the 100-day makeovers, I'm not that big of a fan because you're pushing, but I want to see where you're, like what you guys are doing, where you have years with the Mustang to show what they can do.
Yeah, and I've been involved with the normal Mustang makeovers for 10 years now, and I love doing them, but after the fact,
what's
when people,
next, right?
Yeah, people adopt these horses, and what goals do they have to work towards with that horse? And not everybody wants that, but there's plenty of people that do. So it gives them a venue to, you adopt that horse, you can continue that training, and you have somewhere to showcase it. So that's kind of our goal with that, is just give a continuous goal for these people that are putting so much work in to just strive for.
That is so true. I don't know if you know Megan Vanosky from MV Equestrian. Yeah, so she was riding my Mustang. This year was just a really difficult year for me, and I was not able to ride, and she was riding him for me, and she actually got him going over jumps, and he was doing absolutely fantastic. And anyway, he fractured his hock, so he's not in use right now. He's resting, and he's cooped up and doesn't like being cooped up, but he was actually going to go in that show. She is actually I didn't know it was your show, but she told me about the show, and she was going to bring him and take him in a few of the classes. We were looking forward to that. But anyway, that's out of the question at the moment. But if you keep doing it every year, you'll see Flynn for sure.
That's our goal. I mean, we'd like to we have a pretty good turnout so far, and we'd really like it to be a successful event. We're still looking for volunteers and vendors to come and help make it a big event for everybody. It's open to spectators as well. Our freestyle night,
we'll be there.
I hope so.
We'll be coming for sure. Absolutely,
we
definitely.
have freestyles on Saturday evening, and that's always really entertaining to watch. That's when people have 3.5 minutes to use props, music, costume, and perform with their horse. And that's really where all the fun things come out. So that's always a fun event for spectators to come watch. But the event all weekend is open. And yeah, I mean, we're hoping it's a fun event and we can keep doing it.
I love that you're doing that, because you're so right about the process. I've had Flynn for 4 years, about 4 years, and he's started out just being a trail horse, and then he ended up on the beach. We rode a lot on the beach and in the water, we went in the sea and down the beach, and he kind of got to see everything. He did a lot of obstacles, and then we did a lot of more trail riding, and then Megan started riding him, and she rode him English, and she started jumping him, and now he jumps. And so there's been this whole process over 4 years of him doing a little bit of everything from English to from Western to English to jumping. And how nice that, he's not that 100-day Mustang or that new Mustang that I just got. He's been around.
Right.
But how nice to be able to showcase all the things he's learned over the last 4 years.
Right, and I feel like that's typically how it goes, is someone gets a Mustang and they start out with one thing in mind and they realize, okay, this horse is actually capable of doing
all sorts of things.
So many different things, and it just becomes a really fun spiral of just going through all the different disciplines and playing with it. And you might not want to get to the top level one thing, but your horse is a jack of all trades and go across the board, and so it's fun to be able to showcase that.
I think so too, and I think the more that you can bring awareness to the Mustangs, the more you can help with the adoption plight, which is we don't want more of them stuck out in corrals. There's already 50,000 plus that didn't make it. Flynn was on his third opportunity to be adopted when I adopted him by accident. And,
by accident?
I was there to interview somebody. I wasn't there to adopt a horse. I just ended up leaving one. I know that he
Reel
did.
her in.
Oh, he did. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But so great, because I love him and he's a great horse. And I think it's a lot like when we see the thoroughbred makeovers. We see a horse that everybody thinks is, it's great on the track. It's great on the track. But then you see those thoroughbreds go on and do lots of other things. And I love that, because these horses are so versatile, and the Mustangs are like that. You can do so much with them.
Right.
They're so good at so many things, and showing that and giving people an opportunity to go and compete like that in fun environment and meet each other and connect is great.
Do you plan on expanding with the shows, meaning a Western class, jumping class, keep on expanding with it? What is the future?
So, to be decided.
Okay.
Right now, the show itself ranges so Friday evening, that's the 9th, that'll be a Western Games event just for everyone to have some fun. And there are plenty of people that do speed events with their horses. Our Saturday is all Western and trail and just going through the Western classes. We have some Liberty and Freestyle. And then Sunday will be dressage, Western dressage, and then all of our English or jumper classes.
Okay.
And for the time being, the plan is just to let it be a weekend show where we go across disciplines over the weekend, and we'll see what happens from there.
You never know.
You never know.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah,
you can do all
absolutely.
sorts of things with Mustangs. We have some gifts for you guys.
Oh.
There's a condition to the brush from TT Distributors with this nice Horse Talk Show logo on. Wherever you go and compete, you have to take photographs and tag us. And Horse Talk Show. We call this a dandy brush where I come from.
Thank you.
And then these products are from KWell USA, all natural, amazing products that you will be hooked on. And then our wonderful travel size, awesome Piranha bags with
you.
goodies in. We love to give our guests. We thank you very much.
Thank you so
and
much.
we're very excited about this show. We'll keep sharing every week
I'm glad to
on
hear
the
that.
show.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for being with us, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be right back with the last segment of the show for this week. Stay with us.
Hey, I mentioned that my dandy brush came from TT Distributors on Highway 40 in Ocala. Their Customer Appreciation Day is January 17th from 8 to 1 p.m. Don't miss it. Everything will be on sale.
At Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, our customers say it best.
Oh, the prices were great. They were actually unbeatable.
Thanks, Miss Delara. At Palm Chevy, we do our best to give you our best price and payment without the games. And our entire team is committed to making your experience in sales or service pleasant and hassle-free.
It's been a pleasure doing business around here.
Thanks, Mr. Hars, and we think you'll agree. Visit us today at Palm Chevrolet, Southwest College Road in Ocala, or at palmchevrolet.com. Find new roads.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs. EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
DAC Vitamins and Minerals has been making a world of difference for 35 years. Do you know what sets DAC apart? We use chelation minerals from Alltech, which allows for better absorption. DAC is the only supplement company Alltech provides ingredients for. We have our nutritionist, Performance Horse Nutrition, NASP, which is the quality seal, which guarantees our products and ensures our use of quality ingredients. DAC gives you a guaranteed analysis in every 1 ounce scoop, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Doesn't your partner deserve the best? Visit feeddac.com.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hello, I'm Chris Cox, and you're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet.
Your hometown Chevy experience.
Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancin Pete Rodda.
And we're going to kick it off with Dancing Pete Rodda's Tip of the Week.
Dancin Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complimentary Horsemanship.
My tip of the week just happens to be, it was supposed to be last week, so it's pretty interesting. So connect with your horse the way they want to be connected with. So we were talking about this earlier. So I see a lot of people reaching their hand out to connect with the horse when the horse isn't even looking to really connect with them. And I always tell people, wait for them to want to connect first, the way they want to connect. So some horses don't want to be touched. We're very touchy-feely as humans. And I've met a lot of horses that are like, don't touch me. You can be around me, but don't touch me. And then if you give them that space, that connection gets stronger. And then before you know it, they want you to touch. Come on, why aren't you touching me? So connect with them like you want somebody as a human to connect with you. Some people are huggers. I used to hug everybody. Then I realized,
You still do.
What? I still do. But I've also learned that the introverts sometimes don't want to be hugged. And so I had to learn to give air hugs from across the room, and then before you know it, they wanted to hug.
Yeah, and if you aren't regularly around horses, you may not understand horses' energy or body language. So it's better if you're not regularly around horses to be more hesitant than forward and just give them time, because usually they'll come to you, especially if they're curious about who you are, and it's better if you give them that space.
Definitely.
If you have a horse, you probably have at least one dog. Most of us do. I have 3. Here's Neil from Ocala Dog Ranch.
The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Neil Hennessy, the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch. In the winter, think about giving your dog a sweater, especially if they're one of these short-haired dogs with no fur. Keep an eye on their paws. Make sure that they don't need to be moisturized because of the dry air that dries up their pads and can lead to foot complications later on down the road. If the dog is left on the porch or left outside, give them a safe, warm place to get away from the cold weather. Bring your dog in at night if they like to be coming at night. Some of the guardian dogs love the cold weather and they're happy to stay out all night long. But just keep an eye on your dog. If it's too cold for you, it's probably too cold for them, and just take care of your dog. After all, we do love them. They're our best friends.
Neil from Ocala Dog Ranch. He'll be getting my dogs in just a couple of days because I'll be off to Vegas with Piranha. They've got some sponsored riders that we'll be interviewing, and off to Vegas. And
what are you going to Vegas for?
The NFR.
What's the NFR?
It's the National Finals Rodeo. And I have never been, and I'm very excited. And Team Piranha's got tie-down roping folks, and very, very excited. We're Vegas bound. It's going to be a good time, and I know my dogs will be in good hands. So make sure you check in with me over the weekend, because I'll be sharing photos and videos, and we'll have some great interviews from Vegas. So good times.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. You've obviously been.
Twice.
Oh, twice. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I told Louisa to bring extra money because they'll have 2 giant size places to
leaving the credit cards at
anything.
home. Afraid.
The only thing they won't have is a dog to adopt, but everything else they'll basically have.
Well, it's good because you know me, I try and get a dog brought home as well, so it'll be a good time. So just make sure you stay, like and follow us on Facebook at the Horse Talk Show and on Instagram, because we'll be sharing lots, and we'll be sharing some interviews as well with some of the Piranha sponsored riders. So I've got some quick event mentions, and then I'm going to get back to my ribbon. Speaking of Transformation Expos for Thoroughbreds, coming up at the Florida Horse Park from December 12th to the 14th is the Thoroughbred Transformation Expo. And there is $25,000 in prize money and awards, and talk about showing off the versatility in a number of sports. That is a great event. Check that one out if you're in the Marion County area. Happy Days Sock Hop, December 6th for the Stirrups and Strides Therapeutic Riding Center. They are still looking, they've still got some tables, some seats left, and some sponsorship availability. That Therapeutic Riding Center does a phenomenal job helping folks with disabilities and veterans. They'll have a silent auction and raffle items, and it's always a good time. And Pete will be there.
Woohoo!
Customer Appreciation Day is coming up in January for TT Distributors, Horse and Farrier Supplies. That is January 17th from 8 to 1 p.m. on Highway 40 in Ocala. They'll have 10% off store-wide, lots of door prizes and all kinds of goodies, and there'll be reps there on site to answer questions about products.
Woohoo!
TT Distributors, we love them. Don't forget the Great Florida Cattle Drive is coming up in January. It is a great Christmas gift, and it is the experience of a lifetime to get tickets. They were with us last week on the show. What great folks they are.
That was
and
fun.
Yeah, and that cattle drive, storytelling and campfires and camping out and driving cattle. That'd be fun with Mustangs, right? You could do that with Mustangs.
Absolutely.
Why not? The Fur Ball, the 10th annual Fur Ball for Vocal, which is Voice of Change Animal League. I have a dog I adopted from Vocal that I adore. That is coming up Friday, February the 27th? Friday, February 27th. That's Boots, Black Tie and Best Friends. That is the 10th annual Fur Ball. Get your tickets. It's a great cause. The Children's Charity Classic is back at Hits for its second year. That is Friday, February the 20th. That's at Horse Shows in the Sun in Ocala. That is a wonderful cause for United Way. Loads of fun. It was a great event. Make sure you check that one out and join for that one. Hey, Pete, what's up with this?
This is March 28th and 29th, the Horseman Symposium. We'll have Linda Pirelli, Ryan Rose, Dr. Emily Rose, Jake Birnbaum, Lucio, who was just here.
And who else?
And Pete Rodda.
Pete
Dancin
Rodda.
Pete.
That should be a good symposium. What a bunch of great folks that you can learn a lot from those people. That, again, March 28th and 29th.
At the Southeastern Livestock Pavilion.
Yep, get signed up for that one. So, we've just got a couple minutes left, and I have got to tell you that I went on my first ever hunter pace.
Oh boy.
Yes, and I didn't even know what a hunter pace was. I had to ask because I didn't know. And this was at Missy Morning Hounds in Micanopy, and there's nothing better than being out on 500 acres in the beautiful countryside and jumping some jumps. And there were about 65 or 70 people out there from all breeds and disciplines, all different sorts of horses, and the parking lot was full. I'm surprised on a holiday weekend, but everybody came out and had a wonderful time. I saw some folks I know, and what a great Sydney, the hunter pace, is that great or what? I mean,
it's so much fun.
It's a blast. It's optimum time, right?
Yeah, it's like really accessible to everyone who wants to ride. You can come Western. It seems like one of your teammates was actually Western, but you rode English.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you sign up for the flat class, you can still jump. So like if I had a really green horse that can't jump yet, but you want to go jump all the jumps, we can still be on the same team. It's just a great way to like enjoy the property and kind of forget about it, and then get a ribbon in the mail or hand delivered.
I can't believe it. You brought me a ribbon. I'm like, it's actually really mine. It says Louisa on it. Look at that.
Yeah, I knew you'd be so excited.
Oh, no, thank you for
That's
bringing
happened to me before. Like, we just went on a 100 pace, had a bunch of fun, and then realized we actually won the whole thing. So
it's a good time.
It's the cherry on top. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
absolutely.
nice. We went, 3 of us went out, and the lady that was out there, super nice, I got to meet. She had a 4-year-old, and she just wanted to go easy and steady, but then she wanted to pop over a few jumps, and so did I. So we did, and it was just it was a great way to spend the day, and just so enjoyable. So check out Misty Morning Hounds. They have one every month, and the Christmas meet is coming up December 13th in Micanopy at Misty Morning Hounds, and it is so much fun. And that's a drag hunt, but it is a blast. Yes. And we're having a good time.
A drag hunt is where they don't have a fox they're chasing.
Correct. There's not. There's a big bag full of goodies at the end for the wonderful hounds. We got to wrap things up. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world,
or not.
Happy horsing around till the same time next week.